And if you wish, you can use some props here to make yourself nice and comfortable. Perhaps you're using a blanket under your knees or a pillow, maybe something under your head. Anything that'll help you kind of settle into this pose, into the beginning of our practice. Okay, so I invite you to take a moment to check in with yourself and see what's going on in your body, your mind, and your heart. So noticing your body on the earth, noticing the touch points of your body on the earth. Perhaps noticing if there's any part of you that is calling out for your attention. Perhaps an old injury acting up. Maybe a headache beginning. Maybe you're feeling something emotionally that is manifesting somehow in your body. So, absolutely no judgment. We don't come to practice to judge ourselves. Just notice. And noticing the sensation of your breath. Notice where you feel your breath the most, perhaps in your chest, in your diaphragm, maybe a little bit of both. And then taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. Perhaps sending your breath to the part of your body that's calling out for your attention today. And maybe you imagine that your breath is like energy. As you inhale, sending energy to that part of you. And as you exhale, allowing the energy to flow back out. What kind of energy needs to go to you today? Maybe it's softening, compassion. Maybe it's just relaxation. Notice if anything starts to shift or change. It may not. That's okay. No judgment, right? Just be aware of what's happening. And then I invite you to notice what's happening in your mind today. Are you currently thinking about anything outside of our time here together? Maybe you're thinking about something that happened during your week, things you wish to accomplish this weekend. Maybe there's been some kind of negative self-talk happening. Whenever it may be, see if you can allow it to go with your exhale. Even if it's just for now, just for our practice. Know that you can come back to it later if you wish. Or maybe this is your opportunity to completely let it go. So making some small movements here in your fingers and toes. Perhaps rolling around wrists and ankles. Maybe you take a big stretch here if that feels good for you. All right, so I invite you to hug your knees in towards your chest and rock from side to side, or maybe you make circles with your knees. So just a reminder for our practice today, I am just your guide. You decide what feels best for you in your body. And if a pose doesn't feel good, please come out, come into any resting posture, and then join us again when you're ready. Okay, so from here, let's place both feet on the earth about hip distance apart and as close to your sits bones as you can comfortably get them. And we're going to start off here with a moving bridge. So pushing your feet into the earth, lifting your hips, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze your glutes, and then on your exhale, gently lowering your hips down towards the earth. Continue moving here at your own pace with your own breath. Inhale, lift your hips, and exhale to lower. So if you want to make this a little bit more interesting, maybe as you lift your hips, arms reach up and back behind you, fingernails come to the earth. And then as you lower your hips, arms come back down by your sides. So take your time here, there's no rush. And as you push your feet down into the earth, to lift your hips, notice the four corners of your feet. So big toe mound, baby toe mound, inside of your heel, outside of your heel. Push them into the earth. Let's find one more here. Wonderful. And then once that's complete for you, feet come mat distance apart, windshield wipering your knees from side to side. Maybe releasing some tension here in your low back, or maybe it just feels good to do this. And then let's bring our feet back to about hip distance apart. From here, coming into a figure four, so right ankle crosses over the left thigh and activate your right foot here. Sorry, I'm going to be mixed up with right and left this morning, I think. Okay. And then either staying here, maybe pushing the right thigh away from you, or perhaps drawing your legs closer to you, grabbing a hold of your left thigh somewhere. So keeping the right foot active, slightly curling back the toes. This helps to protect your knee. And soften your shoulders. Notice your breath. Perhaps sending your breath to whatever part of you is calling for it, whatever energy you need this morning. One more round of breath here. And then gently lowering your left foot to the earth. And let's come over to the other side. Right foot comes to the earth. Left ankle crosses over right thigh, activating your left foot. Perhaps you push the left thigh away, or maybe you draw the legs closer and grabbing a hold of the right leg somewhere. Notice if you're holding any tension in your forehead, in your jaw. Can you relax those areas? Relaxing your shoulders. And notice your breath. Can you continue to take deep inhales in through your nose and long, slow exhales out? Let's find one more round of breath here. And then gently releasing your right foot to the earth and uncrossing your legs. So a little bit of core work before we come up here. Bringing your shins so that they're parallel to the ceiling, knees are bent, and activating your feet. Drawing your belly button in, and then we're going to find some kind of like windshield wiper movements here. So arms are going to come out to the side, perhaps palms face down to help anchor you to the earth. And then on your exhale, allowing your legs to drop over towards one side. Keep both shoulders on the earth if you can, and just allowing your legs to hover. On your inhale, legs come back to center, and exhale, legs come over to the other side. And just moving with your own breath. Inhale to center and exhale over. And if this feels like it's super easy for you this morning, perhaps you extend your legs long and then do this movement with long legs. Be mindful of anything in your home. And just continue moving here at your own pace. Know that you can take a break if you need to, but try and just take that break if you're feeling discomfort in your body. We don't want any pain in yoga, but let's see if maybe we can kind of push ourselves a little bit today just to, how do I want to put this? Let's not give up early. Let's try and keep moving even when it gets difficult. We don't want pain, but difficulty is okay to move through. All right, we're going to go a little bit longer. Take your time. Try not to rush this. Try and come nice and slow through the movement. Nice and controlled. All right. And then once you could make it through this one round here of breath, placing both feet on the earth. Feet come mat distance apart. Windshield wiper your knees. And then bringing both feet back towards each other. One more core exercise before we come up. So this time, allowing your legs to come up towards the sky, activating your feet here. Okay, and then you'll have options here for what you would like to do this morning, how difficult you would like to make it this morning. So to begin, let's just start by allowing the right leg to slowly come down towards the earth, but maybe just like an inch or two off the earth. And then slowly bringing that leg back up to center. And then the other side, left foot comes down towards the earth. And then slowly bring it back up to center. So maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring your hands underneath your hips if you're feeling a little bit of something going on in the low back today. Or perhaps you try both legs, nice and slow. Maybe count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue going here. And remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. So if you rush this, it's actually easier. Maybe try and take your time. Challenge yourself a little bit this morning. Know that it's only for a couple of minutes. So again, no pain. Stop if you feel pain. But it's okay if it's challenging this morning. All right, let's find one more round. Then again, once that's complete for you, feet come mat distance apart, knees are bent, windshield wiper the knees. And then whenever you're ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you, and slowly making your way up to seated. So any comfortable seated position here for you, perhaps your easy seated pose, crisscross applesauce, maybe legs are out long, whatever feels good for you. And then find your sits bones, that comfortable place to sit. And gently lowering or closing your eyes. Take a moment just to check in once again. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Check in with your mind. And perhaps just sending your breath wherever it needs to go. And then whenever you're ready, gently opening the windows of your eyes. And we're going to find some torso circles here. So maybe they're big circles, little circles. Notice what you feel here in your low back and in your hips, especially after what we just completed on the earth, on our backs. And then going in the opposite direction if you haven't already. And gently coming back to center. We'll find some moving twists here. So shoulders roll back and down your spine. This is where we want to keep them to protect our shoulders. palms face up towards the sky. On your inhale, arms will reach up, shoulders stay back and down. And on your exhale, turning towards one side, allowing your hands to come down by your sides. On your inhale, arms come back to center. And on your exhale, arms come to the other side. And just continue moving here at your own pace, inhaling to center and exhaling over. So let's go one more time in each direction. And then when you come back to center, allowing your hands to come down by your sides. Okay, so our first pose is surrender pose number 42. So you have options here. You can stay in easy seated pose. If this is not available to you at all, perhaps instead you come into a butterfly pose, feet come together. So easy seated pose. We'll bring our hands out in front. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, folding forward. See if you can do so with a flat back, keeping both hips on the earth. And then perhaps you allow your arms to walk forward a little bit more. Soften your heart. Notice where you feel this in your hips, in your low back. Surrender pose. Is there something you need to surrender to here? So I invite you to notice which leg is in front. Whichever leg is in front, you're going to walk your hands over towards that knee that's in front. So you're coming to like an angle here. And then maybe you reach away a little bit further and melt your heart. Gently allowing your hands to come back to center and then slowly coming back up with a flat back. All right, we're going to switch the cross of our legs. And before we come into surrender pose on the other side, let's bring our arms out to the side, palms face up. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, hands clasped together. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's cross at the fingers, send the palms out round the spine. Send your hands away, find a stretch here in your back. On your next inhale, allow your hands to come back up, come with a nice flat back. Exhale, arms coming over to one side. Inhaling to center and exhaling over to the other side. Inhaling to center. Exhale, releasing your hands by your sides. And we'll come into surrender pose, other side. Hands come in front. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. Find your breath. Maybe with your exhales, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. I know that the process of letting go can be long. Sometimes we let go just a little bit at a time. Be kind and compassionate with yourself. And know that things will happen when you are ready for them to happen. From here, walking your hands over towards that opposite side. Maybe you walk your hands away a little bit further and then melting your heart down. Slowly allowing your hands to come back to center. Slowly walking your hands back up. All right, let's come into tabletop. A little more active part of our practice now. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Find some movement here in your body that feels good. Maybe it's C shapes, figure eights. Maybe you move in and out of child's pose. So any kind of organic movement that feels wonderful for your body today. Okay, so let's make our way into a downward dog, curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you. Shoulders roll back and down your spine, and as much of a bend in your knees as you need to begin here. Perhaps you pedal out your feet, bending one knee and then the other. Gripping your fingers into the earth. Okay, so let's make our way here into a forward fold. So up to you, maybe you stand up and come into forward fold at the top of your mat, or maybe you walk your feet in towards your hands. Feet are hip distance apart and exhaling, folding forward. Arms come wherever's comfortable. Maybe they dangle. Perhaps, if you don't have any shoulder issues, clasping your hands behind your low back, shoulders roll back and down your spine, extending your arms up high. And release tension in your neck. Let your head hang heavy. And find your breath. And know that in this pose, if you need to, you can bend your knees up quite a bit so there's no discomfort here. Stretch is good, pain is not. All right, if your hands are up towards the sky, bending your elbows, we'll all release our hands down towards the earth. On your inhale, let's come into halfway lift. Hands come to shins or thighs, flat back, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Draw the belly button in. So imagine there is a string pulling your belly button up towards the sky. And on your exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come out to the side, reverse swan dive up, extended mountain, arms, shoulders roll back and down your spine. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Finding your mountain pose near the top of your mat. Arms by your side, squeezing your inner thighs. Crown of your head reaches high. Inhale, extended mountain. We're going to stay here. Exhale, squeeze your inner thighs. Maybe you open your heart up towards the sky. So imagine a string pulling your heart upwards. And then exhale, swan diving down with a flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, sitting back into a chair pose. Hips come back, send your tailbone down, draw the belly button in, lift the heart. Find the four corners of your feet. Number 2, chair. And exhale, forward fold. Let's take a big step back with the right foot and set up for warrior two. So right foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel intersects with either the middle of the back foot or the ankle, windmilling your arms up, squaring your hips towards the side of the room. Okay, and let's just take a quick peek here. Front knee is over the ankle and in line with the second or third toe. Side angle. So left forearm, yes, comes to your left thigh. Right arm maybe reaches high or reaches towards the front of the room. Roll that top shoulder back and down your spine. So notice what's going on with your left arm. Are you collapsing here? Try and push away. Draw the belly button in. Okay, I'm gonna get you to do something here with this side angle. So bringing the right arm underneath to your ribs, roll your ribs open. And notice if there's a difference. Right hand reaches wherever's comfortable. Perhaps left hand reaches towards the front of your mat as well. Number 5, extended side angle. Windmilling your arms back up into warrior two. Exhaling, hands come to frame your front foot. Step back into a plank pose. All right, where are you working in your plank today? Is it knees down, knees up? Draw the belly button in. And then whenever you're ready, shifting your weight forward slightly. Tuck your elbows, knees to the earth if they aren't there, chest and chin follow. We'll find a baby cobra here, shoulders roll back and down your spine, tuck the elbows, stretch your legs long, toes point, and then push your feet down to the earth, lift your heart. Find your breath. So your choice, either tabletop or reverse push-up, downward dog. Making your way towards the front of your mat into a forward fold, however you need to get there this morning. And on your next inhale, reverse swan dive up, extended mountain. And exhale, hands coming to heart center. Finding your mountain pose once again. Imagine there's a block between your thighs, squeeze your inner thighs. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, let's find that back bend, open the heart. Take a couple of breaths here. And on your next exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Crown of the head reaches towards the front of the mat. And exhale, sit back into your chair. Send the tailbone down. Draw the belly button in, open the heart. We're going to come into kind of like a power chair here. I may have to move away from my wall. Okay, power chair. We're going to keep the tailbone sending down towards the earth. Bring the arms back by your sides. Shift your weight up into your toes. If you want to stay in your chair, you totally can. Shift back into chair pose. Open the heart, send the tailbone down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, power chair up on the toes. Whew, keep the belly button in. Inhale, chair pose. Last one, exhale, power chair. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. So we're going to find our warrior two pose on the other side. Taking a big step back with the left foot. Windmilling your arms up. Check your front knee, squaring your hips to the side of your mat. All right, side angle pose. Right forearm comes to your right thigh. Left arm reaches up high, and let's find that rotation here first. So allowing the left hand to come towards the right ribs, rolling the right ribs open. And then maybe your arm reaches up higher towards the front of your mat, pushing away here from your thigh. Or perhaps reaching forward with both arms. Extended side angle. One more round of breath. I laugh because I'm feeling it already. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, windmilling your hands down to frame your front foot. Step back into your plank. Push your body away from the earth. Grip your fingers. And then we'll shift forward slightly. Drop the knees. Tuck the elbows. Lower to the earth. Okay, Sphinx pose. So forearms to the earth. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Reaching the legs long. So point the toes, reach the legs away, then push the tops of your feet into the earth. So as you push your arms into the earth, shoulders roll back and down your spine. Nice active pose here. Try not to look up towards the sky. Maybe you look down at the earth a few inches out in front. I forget the number. Sphinx pose. 13. One more round of breath. And then release here to the earth. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're all going to come into tabletop. And then we'll bring our forearms to the earth like we did in Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. Okay, ready? Curling your toes under. Sending your hips up and back behind you. Looking between your arms if you can. If your head doesn't touch the earth, maybe you look back at your toes. Push your arms into the earth so that you can lift. Maybe you walk your feet in a little bit closer. So dolphin pose. No one picked this number. It's just thought we would do it. Oh, feel the shoulders. Good morning, shoulders. All right, 2 more rounds of breath. And then walking the feet back behind you. Lower your knees to the earth. Let's come into child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Allowing your arms to come out long in front of you, melting your heart down towards the earth. Check in with your breath. Send your breath wherever it needs to go. All right, making your way back into your tabletop pose. Okay, and we're going to come into camel number 38. So from here, let's walk our hands back towards our knees. If it's comfortable for you, curling your toes under. We're going to come up onto our knees. Okay, so lots of variations here for camel pose. Just listen to your body, whatever is the most comfortable. If toes under suck for you today, feel free to untuck your toes. Okay, so shoulders roll back and down your spine. So again, it's kind of like when we're in mountain pose where we imagine we're squeezing that block between our thighs. So notice as you do that, you activate your thighs, you activate your glutes. We're doing that to protect our low back here. Okay, so sitting up, we're kneeling nice and tall. We're going to start with just our hands behind our low back. Fingers point down towards the earth. Shoulders roll back and down the spine. So remember earlier how we imagined there was a string pulling our heart up towards the sky? Same thing. String pulls the heart up, and try and keep your hips over top of your knees. So we'll just start here to begin. And try to maybe look up where the wall and the ceiling meet. Okay, and then exhale. Let's come into tabletop. Find movements here that feels good for you and your body. All right, and then let's walk our hands back once again. Come on up onto your knees. Okay, so if you have blocks and you wish to use them, you can always use them to reach for instead of maybe your legs as we go a little further if you want to go further. So block would come back to about your shin. So we'll start the same way, squeeze the inner thighs, shoulders roll back and down, open the heart. Hips stay above the knees. And then maybe you reach down for your blocks. Or perhaps you just start with one side. Maybe left hand comes to left lower leg somewhere. Maybe right hand comes to right lower leg somewhere. And notice what's going on with your hips. See if you can keep them over top of your knees. Shoulders roll back and down your spine. Remember that block between your thighs. One more round of breath. And then can you slowly come up one side at a time? We'll come back into our tabletop pose. Find some movements here. Cat, cow, figure eight, in and out of child's pose, or anything else your body is calling for. Okay, so tabletop pose here. Curling your toes under, sending your hips up and back behind you, downward dog. Take a few breaths here. Okay, we're just going to find a little bit of movement here in this pose. If it's uncomfortable for you in your shoulders, then feel free to maybe just stay in downward dog or come down to the earth, child's pose, puppy pose, anything that feels good for you. All right, so downward dog. Grip your fingers into the earth. Shift your weight forward, plank pose. Find 2 rounds of breath. And then slowly shift your way back, nice and slow, downward dog. Take your time, shift forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And then come back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one, shift forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's come into tabletop and then come on over onto your back. Last pose, number 17, is bridge pose or wheel. Okay, so we'll start off in a bridge, and then you find whatever variation of bridge that feels comfortable for you. So feet coming to the earth. So we've practiced this already a little bit today. Feet are hip distance apart. Arms coming down by your sides. So pushing both feet down into the earth. Lift your hips, squeeze your inner thighs. Remember that block? Okay, so you have options here. Maybe arms stay by your sides. Maybe you grab a hold of the sides of your mat and imagine that you're pulling it apart. Pull to the outside. Notice if maybe your hips come up a little further. Maybe you stay here, or if it's in your body, rolling your shoulders underneath, clasping your hands. See if you can send your hands down towards the earth. Lift your hips, squeeze the inner thighs. So notice what's going on here in your neck. Try and look right up towards the sky. And find your breath. Still push the feet into the earth. Okay, if you want, you can make this a little bit more interesting. Weight goes into your right foot. Left foot comes up towards the sky. Find your breath, send your breath wherever it needs to go. Maybe you switch to the other side. Left foot comes down, push it into the earth. Right foot comes up. Breathe. Gently lowering your right foot to the earth. Wherever you are, maybe you unrolled your shoulders. Slowly come down, one vertebrae at a time. Feet come mat distance apart. Once you get all the way down, windshield wiper your knees from side to side. All right, so I kind of feel like we need a bit of a twist to finish here. So, what twist should we do today? Let's bring our feet close together. We'll do this. Crossing the right knee over the left. Okay, if we come in one direction and it doesn't feel good for you, feel free to change your legs. Maybe knees go the opposite direction. This is just what I prefer, but other people can prefer something else. Allowing your legs to drop over towards the right side. So that top leg is an anchor here. Keeping both shoulders flat on the earth, palms face up. Maybe your cactus shape, maybe arms are in T. And if you wish, perhaps turning your head towards the left side. Find deep inhales, long, slow exhales. As you inhale, notice your rib cage expand. And as you exhale, feel your whole body coming back together. One more round of breath on this side. And then gently allowing your knees to come back to center. Crossing your legs, left knee over right. If you're following me, allowing your hips to drop over towards the left side. Maybe you look towards the right, or you find your own twist that feels amazing in your body today. Again, notice your breath. Our breath is prana, life force energy. As you breathe in, breathe that energy into you. What do you need? Exhale, let it move through you. As you inhale, feel the energy fill your body. Exhale, allowing it to move through. Maybe as you exhale, you move out any energy you don't need. One more round of breath. And then allowing your knees to come back to center, uncrossing your legs. If it feels like your body needs it, maybe hug your knees in toward your chest or perhaps come into a happy baby pose, grabbing a hold of either the backs of the thighs, shins, maybe somewhere on the feet. Send the knees out towards the side. Maybe you rock in your happy baby. Find your breath. Find that life force energy. And then whenever you're ready, let's find Shavasana or any final resting pose that feels good for you on the earth. Support yourself as much as you need. Maybe it's blankets or a pillow underneath your knees. Maybe you'd rather be on your side body, on your front body, whatever provides you the most comfort. So I have gone over a little bit. Well, we're not done class yet, but we have 5 minutes left of class if you need to go at 11 o'clock. If not, I invite you to stay here a little bit longer with me. And normally we draw the animal guru cards at the beginning before we start our practice. We didn't have time today. So if you would like one, feel free to stick around after class and I'll draw one for you. So Shavasana. Our final pose. It's not our sleepy time pose, although sometimes it could turn out to be that way. So some say it's our opportunity for our bodies to integrate our practice. Sometimes it's a way to come to that time in your practice for meditation or maybe to just clear your mind. So yoga is a way to reduce the fluctuations of the mind, to bring calmness into our minds. So maybe take this opportunity to just be present with your breath. Notice the sensation of your breath. Breathe in prana, life force energy. As you breathe it into your body, feel your entire body expand. And as you exhale, feel your entire body come back together. Maybe bring that energy into your heart. Continue here, inhaling that energy. Exhale, drawing it into your heart. Gently bringing your awareness back into the room. Noticing the air on your skin, the sensation of your breath, any sounds around you. Perhaps you make small movements in your body. Maybe those small movements become bigger movements. Maybe you stretch here. And if it's comfortable for you, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you, and take a moment here to find gratitude. Gratitude for your practice, for carving out this time to take care of your body, your mind, and your heart. And whenever you're ready, gently making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Again, finding your breath, deep inhales, long, slow exhales. I invite you here to inhale peace, love, self-compassion, remembering that the two most important things you did during our time here together were show up and breathe. Everything else was practice and exploration. And bringing your hands to heart center, perhaps bowing down towards your hands, bowing down to your inner teacher that guided you today during your practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful day.